Mental illness is real. It affects people of all socioeconomic class. It affects all walks of life. It's not limited to any one kind of person. There are very obvious signs of mental illness: clinical depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder. If you feel symptoms that are unusual, or people point out to you that you're behaving abnormally, if you notice that you're fatigued, that you're oversleeping or not getting enough sleep, if you're procrastinating a lot, if you're feeling sad, if you're not getting your work done, if you're not eating properly, these are signs that you need to get help, that you need to get checked out. I want to talk to you about what it means to be mentally ill. The stereotype is that mental illness appears abnormal or flamboyant. You picture the manic individual that's throwing tantrums or behaving obviously abnormal. Yes, that's a mentally ill individual, but mental illness can also be covert. It can also be not very obvious. You meet people daily, you see people move around with their daily activities, low energy, not being able to communicate their feelings clearly. People are suffering from mental illness, and it's a big issue. I'm really glad that there's a lot of light being shed on it in recent times, but the stigma is still there. The stigma in a sense that it's not being discussed like any other illness, say for instance hypertension or diabetes. Those other conditions are openly discussed in the with the motive of seeking solutions and solving problems. I want, as a healthcare professional, I come across a lot of patients who are taking multiple and myriad of medications that have all kinds of adverse effects on them, known and unknown. What's important is if you're an individual, whether you're a healthcare professional or you're a patient, and you're dealing with obvious clinical signs of depression, it's important that you seek help. And seek help. There are free, believe it or not, there are free resources out there for you. It's not very obvious, it's not talked about, it's not advertised like it should. I think that's going to change in the coming future, but you should seek help. It's not enough just to take medications or just go to your doctor and get prescribed anti-anxiety or antidepressants. That's not enough, because I believe mental illness, it requires a holistic approach. It requires spiritual help. It requires strong support systems, emotional support. It requires economical support. So if you're dealing with clinical signs of depression, seek help. That's my message for today, because I find part of being successful is your state of mind. If you have found a place where you're able to dig deep and find motivation to do and to work hard to achieve your goals, your drive towards success can be slowed down based on your mental state. Your mental state, like I said, can be as a result of traumatic events from your past. It could be familial traits. There might be traits of depression passed down from generations before you. Understand that just like any other illness, be it diabetes or hypertension, there's a solution, there's help out there, and no one is immune from it. Personally, I dealt with what seemed to be clinical depression at some point a couple of years ago. After I had lost my relationship, it was a very major break, major loss in my life. I was financially in a really bad place. I didn't have any money. It didn't seem like my future was very clear. I found myself not motivated to do anything or to achieve anything. I just wanted to eat, sleep, and not do anything. Just sit there. At the time, I didn't recognize it as depression. I thought I just felt tired. Right now, looking backwards, thinking back, it becomes clear what I was dealing with. Granted, I was able to pull through it, but not a lot of people are that lucky. So a lot of people end up going off the deep end just from symptoms that are recognizable, symptoms that could have been changed. Just by dealing with these symptoms, things could have changed. They could have turned it around. They could have sought help, and things could have been changed for the better. Here's my point: seek help. Seek help. No one's above help. If you're in a situation where you're not happy, I believe that happiness is the most important. It's the ROI. If you're not happy, you shouldn't be in a situation. You should find a way to get yourself out of there, because your life is too short. We're working so hard. We're trying to achieve things, but understand that if you're not happy, if you're not feeling fulfilled, it is time to seek a different path. Doesn't mean that you're a failure. It doesn't mean that you're incompetent. It just means that that's not the right path for you. And the more times that you try different things, the more times that you take different paths, then you eventually find what's the right path for you. But if you're stuck in one position for years, that's the quickest path. That's the quickest way not to find fulfillment. Is the quickest way to find yourself digging deeper and deeper into this hole where the ultimate is death. You're gonna eventually die a lonely, sad life. So it's important that you seek help. And I repeat it, seek help. Understand that it's a holistic approach. You need to seek spiritual help. You need to seek financial help, emotional support. Surround yourself with people who can hold you accountable. Surround yourself with people who are achieving at the highest, in the area where you desire to be. When you surround yourself with those kind of people, you push yourself. You find yourself able to. You get a boost. You get motivated just by being around it. During that time when I was going through those problems, when I was feeling depressed, I found a way to. First of all, I moved. I picked up and I moved 2 hours away. I stopped spending. I stopped drinking. I joined a mastermind group, and we met Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Every week. Those were the steps that I took that got me to where I am today, in a much, much better place. Okay? My point is, it has to be deliberate. Your actions have to be deliberate. If you want to be if you want to change the course of your life, you have to take action to move yourself away from that. And if you can't do it, this is where you need the help of people, like-minded people who are also looking to achieve success. I wish you well. I wish you great mental health. I wish you success in your chosen endeavor.